Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome inside another Buckeye Roundtable show as Ohio State takes care of Rutgers and gets ready for Saturday's trip up to Ann Arbor. We'll discuss and more with longtime Ohio State analyst, former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro, Jim Lachey. How are you?
I'm doing good. Before you know it, it's week 12.
We were just here doing our season kickoff show. Unbelievable. Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
You know, before traveling again, it's been nice to add a couple back-to-back home games, hasn't it?
It certainly has. Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Quick programming reminder for those listening in Columbus only. We'll be breaking away at the bottom of the hour for Blue Jacket Hockey on 97.1 FM. You can hear the rest of tonight's show on our AM station, 1460 AM, The Fan 2. Everyone else around the state, stay right where you're at. 42-9, Ohio State beats Rutgers Saturday without the services of two of their key receivers in Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. That being said, your thoughts on how Ohio State performed offensively without him?
Well, copying what Ryan Day said, very businesslike. And you kind of had a feeling that not having those two receivers would affect how the game might appear or how it might sound on the radio. But the running game, again, continued to take some steps forward. Defensively, they were able, for the most part, to really throttle down on Rutgers. So it was, to quote Coach Day, very businesslike.
Jim?
I thought the defense, again, was outstanding. Forcing 3-and-outs, forcing punts early in that game. Opening drive, Buckeyes looked like they were doing what they did all year long, took it right down the field. And then he had to fumble in that opening drive. But then they came back, and they would have put the drives together, get in the end zone. Had a 14-3 at half. That was going to be enough, but you still thought, there's still some work to do. And they certainly got after it in the second half and, put 42 points on the board. So all in all, good at outing.
I know it will be a topic of conversation all week, but the level of confidence, if it's next man up and neither one of them or Brandon Innes, we saw get banged up a little bit, can't go on Saturday.
I don't know that the level of confidence would be high from the public masses without Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. So the hope would be is that the little layoff that they've had will be beneficial for them playing this week.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. It's, those two are two of the probably top 5 best receivers in the country. And what they do opens things up for a lot of other guys. And when they're not out there, then you got other things that you have to key on. And, obviously last week you saw the tight end Max Clare step up. But, if they can't play, it changes what you really want to do. And, it's not indicative how good this team really is when they're out there.
Other side of the ball, Jim brought this up a moment ago, but the defense played great Saturday. I know it's just Rutgers, but anytime you hold a team to just 66 on the ground, under 200 for the game, it's saying something. We've talked about them all season. Is this defense ready for what begins Saturday and what's to come?
I think so, especially when you consider, Skip, that Raymond, the running back for Rutgers in their last game, rushed for 240. Also an experienced quarterback in Kaliak Menace with receivers that had shown they had the ability to make plays. Now, assuming Jordan Marshall is going to be healthy for Michigan and what Kuzdal did last week, there's a rushing threat that's worth taking note of. By the way this defense has played all year, you're confident of what they should be able to do.
They've had 10 games where they've held opponents under 100 yards. They're giving up 80 yards per game. So this defense has been outstanding against the run. And then you saw last week, pretty good against the pass. Really, each and every week, our defensive secondary has been playing off the charts. Caleb Downs, didn't do much, but he creeped in there and got a big sack. And, in that ball game, he's the guy that kind of gets everybody lined up out there. So if Ohio State, if they can go out there and continue to shut down and run like they have all year, that's going to put all the emphasis on the quarterback play. And, Bryce Underwood, he's a good athlete, but he's still a freshman.
Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch it live or later if you miss any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to subscribe to both. Buckeye fans, take your football game day to the next level with help from your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Stock up on your favorites from brands like Pringles, Cheez-It, and Coca-Cola, or choose from their delicious catering options. Giant Eagle is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Saturday, Ohio State is at Michigan. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans. Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
You're listening to The Fan 2 in Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/Buckeyes Care.
Buckeye Roundtable, 60-second timeout.
All right, guys, tight end Max Clare was Ohio State's leading receiver Saturday. 7 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. Question is, how key is that position if Ohio State doesn't have their top 2, maybe top 3 on Saturday available, meaning the wide receivers? And on the flip side, how key is it even if they are available?
Very key, Skip, if they are available, because he provides that X factor, and with the attention going toward Tate and Smith. the obvious reasons, and that's why Ennis has had some opportunities. If they are not, he's also equally as much of a key because what he showed this past Saturday, not only a guy that can catch, but he can move after he gets the ball and make some things happen, make some guys miss, hurdle people, as we saw. But, he's just seems to bring that different type of tight end feel.
And he's really done it the last 3 games. When Carnell Tate was out, Purdue, he really stepped up and played a little bit more and made some plays there. Purdue, you're kind of thinking, okay, they're trying to get him involved. Obviously, with Jeremiah being a little bit nicked up. And then, UCLA, you saw the same thing kind of carry over. And certainly against Rutgers, he was out there making plays. So he's a threat. I think that's good to have that on film. I think he would complement, certainly if you have Carnell and Jeremiah ready, what they want to do offensively. It's something that everybody's got to be aware of because he put that on film. So you got to have a game plan, if the 2 receivers are playing, and if the 2 receivers aren't playing, for what Max Clare kind of brings to the table. We only had 4 receptions caught by receivers. Brandon Ennis had a couple, and then David Adolph had a couple in there. And, that surprises me probably more than anything else is that we didn't go to them. We did go to the screen game a little bit more with our running backs and had some success doing that. So there's a lot of different things that they put on film. And, obviously if Julian, those were his top 2 targets for the first, 8, 9, 10 ball games of the year, not having me out there, they had to change what they wanted to do offensively.
All right, next up, running game. Bo Jackson over 100 yards again with 110, a couple of touchdowns. But does the fumble on the goal line overshadow any of that? Big Ten didn't think so, gave him Freshman of the Week. But I still ask the question, though.
No, I don't think so, Skip, only because it was early and we saw him get back involved in everything and do what we've seen Bo Jackson do. So don't think so. We've seen, and ever since he started playing, you can tell there's something different when he's out there. No,
I agree. I mean, you don't want it to happen, no, but, he came back there and they get him the ball in his hands, and I think he took it 15 yards into the end zone. So, they got him involved in a hurry because they thought that, that he can make some plays. And, he certainly held the ball a little bit tighter the rest of the game, and that's going to be, normal. If you fumble near the goal line, you're going to be conscious of it. So he's conscious of it now. It's a good reminder. Better it happen against Rutgers than, a team you're playing in, this week or hopefully the Big Ten Championship or throughout the playoffs. So you got that out of his system, we hope.
Do they still make him carry the ball around on campus? Yeah, they used to? Like they take it to class.
They're on online classes now, Skip.
Take it to bed. That's all right, next up, Rutgers coach Greg Schiano, we know is a defensive guy. Schiano, huge praise for Ohio State's defense after the game Saturday. Biggest key for Ohio State's this week, knowing what's coming Saturday, is what? Biggest key for the defense?
To continue to try and stop the run. This will be by far the best rushing threat, assuming Jordan Marshall plays. The best rushing threat they've seen all year. So trying to still do what they've done in stopping the run, keeping teams in difficult situations where they have to throw. Now, sometimes be careful what you wish for, especially against a team that's got better threats than what you've seen all year. But that's going to be the crucial thing, stopping the run.
That and then caging in, Bryce Underwood. And they've had some experience with some running quarterbacks. You go back to Washington, DeMond Williams, Arch Manning, he could be a running threat. You saw what Navarro with Ohio, having the ability to run the football. So they've had some, game plans against some teams to keep them caged in, and that's going to have to be another factor. When you look, right now at Bryce Underwood, what's he have 4 rushing touchdowns on the year? So he's a guy got the ability to go out there and make some plays with his feet.
4 sacks by the defense on Saturday. I mean, Kaden Curry was just huge, too. Just phenomenal game by him.
Well, and this is one you wonder if it's Skip. The hourglass, the sand is kind of slowly getting out of it, and you see the end, and we've seen other players do that, so hopefully that's the case. And hopefully what that does is gets attention to him and others can make plays.
Yeah,
go ahead, Jay.
No, I thought he played well, just an all-around game. We saw in the first play of the game, run out there and like you said, like he thought he knew what the play was coming and make a tackle right near the line of scrimmage. It just shows his athleticism, whether he's rushing the passer or dropping back and getting involved, in the passing game, almost like a linebacker. He was out there making a play. So I think he's had a tremendous year. He's always been a guy last couple of years, that could come in and give you some spot duty. But now that he's got full-time duty, you're starting to see these stats really start to explode for him now with 9 sacks on the year.
All right, real quickly, before we turn the page completely, rate the opponent, Rutgers. They fall to 5-6. 2-6 in the Big Ten. Just your final thoughts on the Knights.
Still struggling defensively. Offensively, they're a better team than what they showed Saturday, but a lot of that has to do with Ohio State's defense.
Yeah, I was concerned a little bit with their wide receivers because they had some big threats out there. KJ Duff's a big guy. I thought that they would step up and be able to make some plays in the passing game, but Ohio State, whether it's pass rush or the coverage by our secondary, there was really nowhere to go with the football with Kaliak-Manis. So they still got some work to do. Obviously, Paul mentioned the defense. Again, you think that they would be a little bit better off on that side of the ball with Coach Schiano's, kind of presence as he's had throughout his career on the defense. But they got to get some players. As what would Coach Coop say? You got to recruit, and they still got to go do that.
All right, last thing this segment here, real quick. Look, guys, we know what the elephant in the room is when it comes to this week. Michigan's won the last 4. Last year was one. Really, people still wondering what the heck happened. Jim, you played in this game. You broadcast a ton of them. The biggest key for Ohio State to take on this week is what?
Well, not turn the ball over. You got to win the line of scrimmage, so our offensive, defensive lines have to go out there and dominate. And, that's always tougher when you go up there because of crowd noise. So you got to be smart with that. And, you got to make sure that you're not jumping off sides or having any false starts or things like that. So we got to be good with that. And then sure tackling. Don't let a 2 or 3 yard gain turn into a 4 or 5 or 6. Down the field. I remember Jack Sawyer. Last year. We just couldn't quite make the tackle. Now he got blocked in the back, but still, they were able to bust out there and pick up first downs. We got to make sure we get off the field. And, I think Coach Patricia will have a game plan to help us get off the field on third down.
Same for you, Paul. I mean, you've seen this rivalry. You've caught a ton of them just from both sides of the fence here is what you've called games. It's just what you think Ohio State needs to focus on this week as far as just getting over that hump.
Well, Skip, first of all, being consistent, but second, this team has faced hardly any adversity. If they do, how will they handle it? And that's the key. And Ryan Day's talked about when things have not gone well, they've not panicked on the sideline.
Is that a key for Ohio State this week as far as it's not their fault. Credit to Ohio State that they haven't faced any adversity this year.
Closest game was Texas, 14-7, and they were up 14-0, until the fourth quarter when they scored, late in that ball game and made it 14-7. Ohio State was able to run out the clock there and, obviously, make some plays there at the end when they got the ball back to get them off the field. But, things have gone good, and, what can you say? They just haven't had that where it's been a one-score, 3-point game. They've had the ability to blow people out and, defense getting stops, offense taking the ball down the field and putting it in the end zone. So it's been a good problem. But, let's see, Illinois we thought would be a little bit better. They weren't. You thought maybe Wisconsin could be a trap game on the road, and they were really struggling. Penn State, same thing. You thought that they could bring it, but, they had all their issues, firing their coach before he even got here. So that's just the way it all played out. But, credit Ohio State for taking care of business week in and week out. Other teams have it.
If there was going to be adversity, it would have been last week, you would have thought. As far as the top 2 guys being out and looking ahead, absolutely. We won't look ahead, but we'll tell you what's coming, and that is our Big Ten breakdown. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Whatever happens today, take it on with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. Now only $1 with True Rewards. True North Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. As a free True Rewards member, pick the size that is perfect for you and pay only $1. Don't have the True Rewards mobile app? Find it in the Apple or Google Play Store to download and save instantly. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Picture it. Your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
This is the home of the Buckeyes, the Fan 2. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Again, Coach Ryan Day coming up in about 10, 12 minutes or so from right now. But a quick programming reminder for those tuning in for that, listening in Columbus only. We'll be breaking away at the bottom of the hour for Blue Jackets hockey on 97.1 FM. You can hear the rest of tonight's show on our AM station, 1460 The Fan 2. Everyone else around the state, stay right where you are at. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
And off to Cusdale, through a hole to the 15, to the 10. Bryson Cusdale to the outside, to the goal line. Touchdown, Wolverines. Bryson Cusdale's second touchdown of the game, his third of the season, and Michigan extends the lead to 27-10.
Doug Harsh on Learfield. We touched on Bryson Cusdale last segment. Michigan rolls at Maryland 45-20.
100 yards for the former walk-on playing in place of Jordan Marshall, who they said could have played, but with a shoulder deal, they were on the cautious side. They also played without some other key people. Hausman, the one linebacker, did not play as well, and this maybe is more about Maryland's tailspin.
Jim?
Yeah, I mean, it was good to see. No one thought Maryland was going to win that ball game. So you knew Michigan was going to be able to take care of the business, and they did. They had a couple guys banged up, which again everybody does when you get to week 11. No one's 100% healthy. I mean, you're going to have some guys injured. They got some guys at running back that are injured, a linebacker that's injured, but it didn't matter. They took care of business and came home with a victory.
Big game in Eugene on Saturday as Oregon hosted USC.
Sadiq motions out to the right. Snap, back to throw. Look, throw, deep end zone. Touchdown! Kenyon Sadiq! Don't need two. Sadiq, give me 6.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Ducks beat SC 42-27.
Tight end Kenyon Sadiq is a problem, and people need to be aware of that moving forward. This is a team that will be in the playoffs. USC out. That pretty much eliminated them. And Oregon was playing, I believe their center got hurt in that game, Skip. So they're dealing, like you said, Jim, with everybody else banged up people, but they go out and take care of business.
Yeah, I thought Dante Moore had a good game there. 257 yards, a couple touchdowns, although he did have an interception in that game. But, they're well-rounded, and they're one, obviously we saw them twice last year. We know what they're all about. And, first game they got, it's the second game we had to blow them out.
To Madison, where Wisconsin hosted number 21 Illinois.
Gonna go Wildcat QB now. Darion Dupree takes the snap, running behind Aker off the right side. Dupree to the end zone. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Little Wildcat action possession. The Badgers lead 23-10 with 8:16 remaining.
Matt LePay on Learfield. How about the Badgers? They win over Illinois 27-10.
And running the ball the way that Wisconsin people like to see it run with Dupree. But think about this, Skip. Defensively, they got after Luke Altmaier in Illinois. And Altmaier and Illinois' offense had been playing really, really well. That's the surprising part of it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they have no running game. You think Illinois, when you think of them, you always think that they're going to run that football and, count on Altmaier a little bit to do some things. But they ran the ball for 50 yards in that ball game. And we know Wisconsin's good defensively, and they got some linebackers that have stepped up and made some plays here. But you're not going to win if you can't run the football.
To Wrigley Field, could Northwestern finally get a win in the friendly confines as they hosted Minnesota?
A 33-yard field goal to put the Cats in front here in the final minute. They await the snap. Here it is, the placement. Kick by Olsen all the way to the uprights. It is good! Jack Olsen kicks it through. And the Wildcats have regained the lead with 53 seconds to go.
Dave Ennett on Learfield. Things did get interesting in the final minute, but the Wildcats hold on to win 38-35.
Preston Stone has started to play better at quarterback. And think about this, Northwestern now bowl eligible for the second time in the last 3 years.
Were you surprised that he was the offensive player of the week? Or one of the offensive players of the week?
Never.
You're just kind of waiting for that, right?
Never.
Drake Lindsey didn't play bad, threw for 264 and 4 TDs. Remember, he's just a redshirt freshman. He's going to get better as he goes. But, congratulations. You're going bowling.
Chicago's Big Ten team.
We've rubbed off on him, Paul. I don't know if you see what's happened. Another game that came down to the end as Iowa hosted Michigan State.
Been in real time. Let's go. Nissen will hold. Here's the snap from 44 yards. Kick on the way. It is good. It's good. The All-American is All-American again.
Gary Dolphin on Learfield. Drew Stevens missed an earlier kick, but redeems himself as Iowa nips Sparty 2017.
Now, something might have been wrong with the TV at my house, but it looked like Iowa was throwing the ball downfield pretty well, Jim.
Yeah, well, they finally had to. It came down to the fourth quarter, and they started making some plays, in that passing game. Vanderzee, I thought, had a heck of a catch. Jacob Gill had that touchdown catch in the end zone. Running game was just okay for Iowa, and, that's what they like to major in, but they found a way to get it done, and that was, again, it looked like that was going to be a loss. The Spartans were going to come up with a victory in their first of the Big Ten season, but
Sparty.
They didn't find a way to get it done.
To State College, where Penn State hosted Nebraska.
He's to the left of Grunkemeyer. He's got it, bounces left to the 10, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State. Katron Allen, a night of celebration, and he caps it off with a 13-yard run for a score.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network, all seems right in the world now. Penn State, they win big over Nebraska. You had Iowa winning. You had Wisconsin winning. Penn State rolls the Huskers 37-10.
And Allen passes Evan Royster for the all-time rushing lead. Singleton, I think, tied Saquon Barkley for touchdowns. Yeah, so, Penn State running the ball like we thought Penn State would.
And remember Matt Rule? His name was, when they fired James Franklin, they said Matt Rule. Matt Rule got a new contract. With those discussions, right? And now they're sitting there, and
we had one
at 7-4, and trying to bang away. Now Penn State's one win away from being bowl eligible,
and so is Rutgers, who they play.
Exactly.
It's the bowl.
Question is, do they go to a bowl game?
That's a good question. Depends on what they do and when they hire a coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You would think that they want to take it for their senior players,
and they'd want it for the practice time,
right?
Final stop, the Rose Bowl, as UCLA hosted Washington.
There's a snap, holds it out. He's going to run. Damon Williams straight ahead. 20, 15, speed to the left side. 10, 5, and to the left. Pylon, is he in? Waiting for the signal. 2 arms up. Touchdown, Washington. 25 yards, Damon Williams. Just hit the B button and angled off to the left.
Tony Castricone on Learfield. Huskies big over the Bruins, 48-14.
And Williams a big part of that. Nico Iamaleava played, got another concussion, got knocked down and had to leave the game. UCLA, they caught fire after that first coaching change, but it's flamed out ever since then. And, when Damon Williams plays well, things go well for Washington.
Well, at least Luke Duncan had a little experience when he came in.
Yeah.
Damon Williams, he had 2 touchdowns throwing the football, 2 touchdowns touchdowns running the football. We knew that, he was a handful, and we saw him earlier this year. He's playing some good football right now, and Washington, we knew they could be one of those teams. A couple weeks ago, people thought about playoffs. Now with 3 losses, that's out of the question.
Big Ten championship game scenarios. I guess there's 7 total as far as what could happen. It all begins Friday, though. Indiana at Purdue. I mean, a lot of these scenarios are if Purdue somehow upsets Indiana on Friday night, as far as what might happen down the road. But also Friday we have Iowa at Nebraska,
and Oregon is still possibly in the mix with all of this too. So here's the crazy thing. Outside of the Big Ten, there's no conference where their championship scenario is set.
Yeah, and that is kind of crazy when you think about it. But that's the way it is in nowadays football. When you don't play every team, there's no head-to-head.
That's the crazy part.
You got to sort all this out at the end of the year. But let's face it, Indiana's not going to lose to Purdue. Ohio State's got to take care of business, and they'll have a chance for a Big Ten championship.
That's the simplest solution there is right there.
That's the easy part.
Oregon is at Washington. That can have some say as far as what's going to happen. Wisconsin
Seattle.
at Minnesota. We mentioned Penn State at Rutgers. The winner is bowl eligible there. UCLA is at USC. Maryland at Michigan State. Northwestern is at Illinois. So besides any of the big ones that we're focused on, any stand out as far as, I wonder?
Mostly just Indiana and Oregon.
The one we care about most, though, is Ohio State traveling to Ann Arbor. We are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Toyota-thon is on. Get in the spirit of the season with a new Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Corollas and Corolla hybrids. Excludes GR and Corolla Cross. Or lease a gas-powered 26 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Columbus is home of the Jim Rome Show. The Fan Team. You are listening listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick, scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day here coming up in just a couple of minutes. We mentioned that there were 7 different scenarios with everything that could happen this week. The simplest one is Ohio State and Indiana both win, and then we'll face each other in Indianapolis. That's the simplest one that there is, okay?
All right.
Then it becomes fun. So number 2, Indiana would face Oregon if Indiana beats Purdue, Ohio State loses, Oregon beats Washington.
All right.
Those 3 things. Number 3, Indiana, Michigan. Indiana beats Purdue, Ohio State loses, Washington beats Oregon. Okay. And then you would get Indiana and team up north.
Last year.
Ohio State, Indiana, obviously they lose, but there's an interesting one where we can have a rematch between Ohio State and Michigan.
Really?
There's an interesting one. For that to happen, obviously, it would have to go not Ohio State's way this week. Then you would have to have Purdue beat Indiana and Washington defeat Oregon. So all of that stuff would have to happen as far as that. So it's like they've really mapped it down as far as the 7 that could possibly happen. It's like
Purdue
really
ain't beating Indiana.
No,
I mean, yeah,
they'd make Signetti give money back.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
That's not going to go there. But I thought that was the one.
You'll know Friday night, right?
Well, absolutely, exactly. They play Friday. Do you like? I mean, you just were through this last year as far as Friday night this late in the season.
It is what it is, right? It's Thanksgiving weekend. Some people play, Thanksgiving Day. You play Friday. It's kind of a Black Friday type event where the players have gotten kind of used to that, especially Iowa and Nebraska. That game's always going to be on Black Friday, so I've kind of gotten used to that.
Not as many on Thanksgiving Day as there used to be.
No,
remember Georgia
NFL.
Tech was always that day. Yeah. The Egg Bowl was always Thanksgiving night. I mean, old enough to remember when Cincinnati and Xavier played on Thanksgiving Day, usually in the morning. But you're right, Jim. The NFL's kind of taken a hold of that.
Yeah, but no, last year was one of those years where I had to go out to Iowa for senior day and got a chance to come back and call a game on Saturday. So I had a lot of football in before 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon before that game was over.
College football, again, you mentioned Thanksgiving Day, Dark Friday. It seems like there's more and more of these Friday, Dark Friday games. As a fan, do you like them?
I'm not sure. I think some of it depends on who the game is. It's been a while, I think, since we've had one that really has had major, major implications. A lot of people are off work, so I like the idea of them, but it seems like they've grown. More of those have come. And, maybe the Ole Miss Mississippi State game would be the one because of the Lane Kiffin situation that'll get everybody's attention.
Well, there's been Friday games almost, in the Big Ten all season long.
True.
So, that's kind of not new. It's just.
But we know who's not playing.
Exactly.
3 schools that aren't playing them.
Especially at home.
Do you think that day will ever come? As far as this game,
they can't do it at home because the
not this game
situation.
I meant this game this week on a Friday.
No.
Now, could there be a time when Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, who have resisted, play late in the season? Later, not this late, but maybe later in the season, possibly.
And we got to go back to we played on a Thursday opening game.
Yes.
Which again,
that's happened a few times.
It doesn't matter what that is because you got all the time preparing to get your schedule right. It's just hard during the course of the week when you got a short week or, to change things up a little bit. So that's difficult.
And Skip, to put the other part of your question, asking about this game being on a Friday, it would end up being a night game. And, that's been a real item of pushback,
especially
making it a late game or a night game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, in the NFL, I've had to play, on Sunday, 4 o'clock game and then, fly to Dallas and play on Thanksgiving. And it's just not much time for preparation and things like that. You get in Monday, and you're game planning Monday, Tuesday, and then boom, you're leaving on Wednesday to go play a game. So it kind of makes it tough.
I'm creeping up on retirement, but I've always said all along that this game will be prime time on a Saturday night 1 year.
Now that, yes, later rather than sooner, but that more than a Friday.
Nothing better than 12 noon on a late November Saturday.
No, there's nothing better than that.
Time slot is great.
Absolutely.
Everybody agrees with that.
Joined for a few moments now by Ohio Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, let's start with your defense, man. Limit the Rutgers to less than 2 yards per carry on the ground on Saturday, 150 total for the game. We've heard coaches preach year after year that defense wins championships. What can you say about how your defense is playing as you reach this point of the season that we all know your team has worked so hard on the last 8 or 9 months?
Yeah, it's all leading up to the end of the season here. We know that's going to be important here this week. It's been obviously a focal point week in and week out, making sure that we stop the run. And we know that this is going to be a huge part of their game plan. And so everything that we've been working on and talking about really since preseason camp has been built around that and this. So, guys have really embraced that. They've worked hard on it, and, they're looking forward to having a great week of preparation.
Last couple of weeks, you guys have got that running game in shape. 222 against UCLA, 254 against Rutgers. You like what you're seeing with the running game?
Yeah, you're seeing guys certainly play physical. The runs are fitting up better. Guys are making guys miss. And then we need everybody involved. I mean, if we're going to have explosive runs, then we certainly need to get to the second level, but then the guys there need to do a good job of making blocks on the second level and making guys miss, like I said. So, that's been good. I felt all along the more our young running backs carry the ball, the better they're going to get. Yeah, I think there's still a lot of football for them to learn, but they're certainly getting better each week and have really had a growth mindset on it. And they need to be at their best this week. And it all starts right out of the gate with ball security. Everyone's got to take care of the ball in this game.
We talked last week about all of the work going into special teams with a kickoff return for the touchdown. Same payoff when you get a play like last week with a punt that gets down to the 1?
Yeah, it's an important play, and the battlefield position will be critical in this game. And when we can set ourselves up after a pooch punt where the defense gets to start, inside the 5-yard line, that's a big deal. And typically that leads to points when you look at the statistics. So something that we work hard on. We haven't had many of those opportunities this year, but good to see the guys execute that on Saturday.
Coach, you guys ever heard Carnell and Jeremiah? Are they trending in the right direction?
They are. They're going to continue to get some rest tonight. Had a good day of rehab, and so we'll wake up in the morning and see how they're doing. But nobody wants to play more than those two guys.
Certainly, when you think about in the subject of pass catching, what Max Clare gave you, is he a real X factor at times with what he can do, combining, receiving, advancing with the ball after it's in his hands as well as his blocking?
Yeah, I think everybody can see the improvement in not only his route running, but also his blocking. And he's becoming a complete tight end. And when you have a tight end who can do those things, he's a weapon. And you can see that he kind of showcased some of those skills this past Saturday. And so, like everybody else, he's going to have to really perform and grade out this game. And that's one of the reasons he came here. He's an Ohio guy, and he's looking forward to playing in this rivalry.
Coach, what have you learned over the last 4 years about this game, this rivalry, and how can you help take those experiences and then bring it forward and get a victory on Saturday?
I've learned a lot, and this is really 9 years now, being at Ohio State. And, you learn every year. You learn about your team. You learn, about the season. And, each game is different. The dynamics are different. The team is different. The situation is different. But then there are some similarities. And so I know one thing's for sure. We're going to do everything we can to keep our routine the same and keep the focus on the game and everybody doing their job. And that's it. There's going to be obviously a lot of emotion that goes into this game because of what it means to all of us. But we're going to make sure that we stay locked in and don't get distracted.
For your two new coaches, Matt Patricia and Tyler Bowen, what are they thinking about this week and how crazy this rivalry is?
Well, they're excited. They are, and they're working hard. Obviously, the offensive line and the defense have a big hand in this, and so they want to be part of this, this rivalry, part of this tradition, and both of them, certainly have embraced what it means to be a Buckeye in a big way, and they really want to get their first pair of gold pants for sure.
Ohio State coach Ryan Day. Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you for your presser tomorrow on radio show on Wednesday, okay?
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. And you take what his answer was specifically as far as the guys that were out. And you got to think, trending in the right direction is hopeful, or the least words you want to hear right now.
Absolutely. And for those who maybe aren't familiar, Coach Day has been very consistent about not being specific with injury updates. So that said a lot without saying a lot to encourage people. Would you agree?
No, I agree. I mean, some of that's gamesmanship and some of it's, you just not wanting to show your hand. So, but I liked his response.
Yeah, so did I. Hopefully we like Tim May's response.
Yes.
Tim May, longtime Ohio State reporter, will join us inside the Red Zone. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. At AEP, we're proud to support our communities, powering progress and creating opportunities every day. Our partnership with Buckeyes Care reflects a shared commitment to uplifting Central Ohio through service, connection, and care. Together, we are building a brighter future for everyone we serve.
The home of the Bob and Tom Show, The Fan 2. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined inside the Red Zone, longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May. Tim, thanks again for hopping on. You've covered this rivalry, Ohio State-Michigan, for decades and have seen so much. In your opinion, what do you think the primary thing for Ohio State needs to overcome this week to end this 4-game streak against the Wolverines?
Voodoo, the hex, mojo. I mean, I don't know. Last year was a great example of everything was pointing to Ohio State not only winning, but winning big, including the pregame spread or whatever you want to call it, whatever credence you put into those things. But it comes down to playing the game. And, I don't want to make it this simplistic, but it just seemed like to most of us watching the game last year, it was a point by somebody, maybe Ryan Day and his staff, to show Michigan how tough they were, and when in fact, that's really what it looked like, whether that was the case or not, with the exception of the 2-minute drill before halftime. And this was after Will Howard had gotten hit in the head. The 2-minute drill before halftime, when they went clickety-clack right down the track throwing the ball. I didn't understand the game plan offensively for that game. And so when you do something maybe a little out of character or step aside from what you're really all about, I think it comes back and bites you. And the interesting thing about this year is Ryan Day has been incredibly emphatic about staying on point, about improving every day, and basically building to a crescendo, in my opinion. I think the last several weeks, you can knock the competition, but you can't knock, for the most part, Ohio State's efficiency and its methodical way about going about things. And I think that gets back to the basic tenets of football, which is blocking and tackling, and for the most part, don't turn the ball over. Guarantee you he was very upset that Bo Jackson fumbled that ball at the beginning of the game last week when they could have gotten that 7-0 lead and gone on from there. He even referenced it, I think, a minute ago. Not specifically that, but that's what he referenced. And 42-9 is still a butt-kicking by any stretch, but it could have been so much better, but it gives you something to build on right this week.
Yeah, you mean, look at last year. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, 2 top draft picks at tackle. Ohio State was down a center, down a left tackle that, end up or in the NFL right now. But it was a question mark for everything. Why are we doing this? And I can see trying it, right? You got Quinshon Judkins, Travion Henderson. Give them a few shots, but you got to quickly, when this thing, you got to pull the ripcord. Like, okay, we're going to go outside. And like you said, the third quarter, they took it right down the field. And, okay, let's go tempo the rest of the game. And yet we didn't. But, and again, maybe that was because of Will Howard with his situation. Who knows? We don't know all those answers. But I think opening it up and playing fast would be something that, people would like to see do. But again, if you don't have your 2 top receivers, you might want to, make it a different ball game.
Correct. I agree with you, Jim. And like I pointed out the day after the game, I said the most telling stat in that game last year was Mason Graham was in on 7 tackles.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I mean, I think he was averaging about 2 or 3 a game, and he's a tremendous ball player. But, man, when you kind of run in his vicinity and he's having a day over the right guard on occasion, I mean, what do you say, right? But, Ohio State's got to do what it does best. And like Ryan, they pointed out a minute ago, the 2 fellas, Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, are trending in the right direction in terms of their treatment. He didn't say in terms of their workout, but their practice. But that you got to have almost have one of those guys based on what we've seen the last 2 weeks from the other fellas. You almost got to have one of those 2 guys on the beam to really get to where you want to, I think, offensively in this game. But you got to stay true to what you are, which is a wide open run this play, run one play, pass the next. You got to stay true to that because that's who you are.
Do you feel like the rushing game turned a corner?
Oh, absolutely. But, Paul, it's like who'd you turn a corner against, right? But anytime you get confidence in your blocking and you're running and the cuts that are being made. And, I really think Bo Jackson, especially, his eyes have been opened even wider to what else is out there instead of just hitting the hole. And, of course, Isaiah West, same way. And, boy, James Peoples, 49 yards to the house, they finally got that home run.
Absolutely. Tim May, we always appreciate your insight. Thanks for hopping on. We'll see you later in the week. Happy Thanksgiving, okay?
It is always a pleasure being on with you fellas. You know that.
Absolutely. Coach Cooper will be back with us next week. Up next, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast top high school performances, and our weekly whip around the state. Final 4-time in all 7 divisions. We'll get into that. We'll hit the sidelines with Dom Taberi. Our Insiders Access tonight, Bill Rabinowitz, will join us to talk about this game and specifically look back to last year's Michigan game, an interesting chapter in his latest book about the fallout from last year's Ohio State-Michigan game. All that and more on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Paul Keels here, voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeye MVP membership upgrade for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Toyota Thonazon, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like the best-selling Toyota Camry. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on remaining new 25 Camrys. Or lease a new 26 Camry LE for $269 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
You're listening to The Fan 2, WBNS AM Columbus, WBNS HD2 Columbus, home of the Bob and Tom Show.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Picture it. Your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps, spiced cider in every glass, laughter around every plate. At Kroger, we know these moments matter, and we make it easier to bring them to life with quality that's affordable in every aisle. This season, don't just host, make every moment unforgettable. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you roll with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, Ohio State is at Michigan. More on that coming up, but right now it is time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each Roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honor a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient, senior running back Connor McMichael from Colonel Crawford High School. It's in Crawford County. Friday night, McMichael had 27 carries, 214 yards, 4 touchdowns as Colonel Crawford beat West Jefferson 35-7 in the Division VI Region 23 final. The Eagles are coached by Jake Bruner. They're 13-1 and will face Kirtland in the Division VI semis Friday night in Parma. Again, congratulations to Connor McMichael from Colonel Crawford High School, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
We love this time of year. So many to choose from. So hard to narrow things down as far as picking some of these kids, but some great performances all across the state, Jim.
Yeah, I got one here just locally. Bishop Watterson quarterback Drew Belisari was 6 of 12 passing for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, including a 77-yarder in Watterson's 43-0 win over Steubenville.
St. Xavier wide receiver Logan Von Holly, 5 catches, 155 yards, and 3 touchdowns, helping lead St. X past Elder 42-34.
Avon defensive end Lance Dawson had 2.5 sacks and a field goal and an extra point as Avon defeated Highland 36-19.
Big Walnut defensive end TJ Miner, 9 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack and a forced fumble, helping Big Walnut hold off Massillon 27-21.
Anderson quarterback Owen Scalf had threw for 406 yards and 5 touchdowns as Anderson blew past Trotwood Madison 38-7.
Olentangy Orange running back Lucas Fickle, 23 carries, 175 yards, and a pair of touchdowns, including a 74-yarder as Orange beat Pickerington Central 39-7.
Yeah, he's had a good year. Indian Hill running back Evan Riggs had 165 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns, including a 75-yarder. As Indian Hill defeated Valley View 41-14.
Glenville linebacker Sincere Johnson, 7 solo tackles, a sack, and a TFL, leading Glenville past Perry 35-7.
I think he had like 25 the week or two before.
I know.
Tippecanoe quarterback Max Deckard had an 18-yard scoop and score, as well as a 45-yard pick six as Tippecanoe defeated London 33-16.
Walsh Jesuit running back Marty Tobin, 22 carries for 199 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And Walsh Jesuits' 35-7 win over Akron-Hoban.
All right, we begin our weekly whip around the state up in Northwest Ohio. Great night on both sides of the ball as we hear from WNDH's Dave Kleck.
The Liberty Center Tiger footballers have punched their ticket for the state Final Four for a fourth straight year, beating Genoa in the regional final 38-0 to go to 13-0. A key cog was Jackson Lonazak, Tiger Jr., who had a 50-yard pick six in the first quarter and then had a TD catch in the second and over 100 yards in receptions in the victory. Liberty Center will battle Indian Lake in the state semifinal Friday night at Lima. From WNDH in Napoleon, I'm Dave Kleck.
Big night there. Knox County, huge game on the ground. Here's WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
Owen Sloan ran for 205 yards and 3 touchdowns in Hillsdale's 25-20 Division 7 regional final win against Danville. Meanwhile, sophomore Cy Wallace had a 49-yard touchdown run and a 10-yard touchdown reception in the loss for Danville. Their senior class finished with school records of 44 career wins, 13 playoff wins, and reached the regional final 4 straight years. Hillsdale, meanwhile, they're moving on. They take on McDonald in the state Final Four at New Philadelphia on Friday. Reporting from WQIO, WMVO at Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
Southern Ohio, more big numbers on the ground. Here's WNXT's Mark Williams.
The Wheelersburg Pirates are heading back to the state semifinals for the first time since 2018 after blitzing Nelsonville York 41-0 to win the 9th regional championship in school history. The Pirates used a powerful running game and dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. Senior Elijah Brown led the way with 14 carries, 153 yards rushing, and 3 TDs. He also had an interception on defense. The Pirates will face Youngstown Cardinal Mooney in the state semifinal Friday night from Westerville Central High School. Mark Williams, WNXT Radio, Portsmouth.
To the
season-ending injury in
to their Cleveland area. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's okay. Too much pepperoni on that thumb there, Jacob. Another big game on the ground. We welcome in WKNR's Kevin Arnold.
After a season-ending injury in 2024, running back Brandon White has his eyes set on redemption in 2025. This past Friday, St. Ed's won their 5th straight regional title as they beat Mentor 27-7. White ran for 178 yards and scored 3 touchdowns. Not only did he help lead his team to the Final Four in Division I, but he also became the all-time leading rusher at the school as he approaches 4,000 yards for his career. St. Ed's will face Olentangy Orange Friday for a spot in the state title game. For WKNR in Cleveland, I am Kevin Arnold.
All right, Kevin, circle over to Mercer County. A record-setting win streak came to an end. Here's WCSM's Ron Brunswick.
The 61st meeting between two MAC neighbors took place in the Division 7 Region 28 finals on Friday night at Walpock High School Mercy Health Field. It was a matchup between Marion Local, the MAC champion, who was riding a state-high 76-game winning streak, and MAC runner-up St. Henry. The Flyers recovered a St. Henry fumble on the opening kickoff and scored 2 plays later to take a 7-0 lead with less than a minute gone in the first quarter. The Redskins responded with an 8-play, 73-yard drive that ended with a Charlie Whirling 3-yard run to cut the deficit to 7-6 after a missed extra point. The Redskins would score 2 more times before the halftime break. A Charlie Whirling 45-yard run and a Whirling 12-yard run gave the Redskins an 18-7 lead with 2 quarters to go. After forcing Marion Local to punt after a 3-and-out on the first possession of the second half, Henry would go on a 13-play, 85-yard drive that took 7:51 off the clock and ended with a Whirling 4th touchdown run of the night to give Henry what would turn out to be the final margin of victory, 24-7. Charlie Whirling did the evening with 135 yards on 22 carries and 4 touchdowns. It will be the Redskins' 11th trip to the Final Four, the last being in 2006 when they picked up their 6th state title. It goes without saying, hats off to the Marion Local Flyers, winning 76 straight, which included 4 state titles, a run we may never see again. For St. Henry, they travel to Troy Memorial Stadium to take on the Columbus Grove Bulldogs Friday night for a chance to go to the state championship game. From MAC Country, I'm Ron Brunswick.
Jim, I cannot imagine what Friday night was like over in your old stomping grounds over there. What a great story on both sides. Great story.
First of all, tons of respect for Tim Goodwin, the Marion Local Flyers. You know, we've been following it for the last 4 years. Counting these victories off, and they've been a machine. And we knew it was going to be a tough battle. And I tuned into the game, listened to Ron Brunswick, who we just heard there, and Rick Kramer was doing the color, and just had a big smile on my face, I mean, it didn't start off well, as a St. Henry fumbled the opening kickoff, and, Marion Local was able to take it in, get that early lead, but they just kept battling back. What can you say? Charlie Whirling was just unbelievable in that game, 4 touchdowns. Congratulations to the Redskins. It was fun to watch that and be involved in it, and looking forward to these final two.
And, Paul, while high school football is huge, we know in rural counties all throughout the great state of Ohio, really everything. Don't look past the big city either. Down in Cincinnati, I mean, St. X Elder last week on Friday, 20,000 plus tickets. They moved that game to Paycor.
Incredible. And, those are two programs in the same conference, kind of like, Jim, what you were talking about. Very familiar with one another, guys that kind of generally live around one another. But, when you think about everything that was going on, there was basketball that night with Cincinnati and Louisville. The Bearcats hosting BYU the next day, and then the Bengals at home. So what a big night for those two high school programs.
And it was good for everybody. Again, thanks to all of our affiliate stations for these all season. One of the most popular things that we do all throughout the year. And really, most anything. Congratulations to all 28 teams out there earning their Thanksgiving Day practices this Thursday.
That's what it's all about. That's a goal for each one of these teams when they start. They want to be practicing Thanksgiving week and playing on that Friday night. So, St. Henry's going to have that opportunity along with 27 other teams. Good luck to all of them.
Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein. With the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair, he's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye. Was there any fallout in the top 25? Paul referenced conference championship games. None are set. We'll explain why some of them are that way after further review as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans, it's Paul Keels for Window Nation. Columbus, did you know you can get 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game if you replace all the windows in your home with Window Nation? This month, they're offering 50% off all window styles, plus no payments for 2 whole years. That's right, no down payment, no monthly payments, and no interest until 2027. Get big savings, plus 1-day installation with Window Nation, a proud partner of Ohio State Athletics. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com today.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Toyotathon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota. Now through December 1st, get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 RAV4 or RAV4 Hybrid. Or lease a new gas-powered RAV4 LE for $289 a month for 39 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
You're listening to the Fan 2 in Columbus. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington Bank. Final one of the year airs game day Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
Price gets again, runs right, cuts back inside. He's across midfield, makes a man miss the 40, 30, 20, on his way, 10, 5, touchdown! Jadarian Price goes the distance, 58-yard touchdown, and with 4 minutes left in the first quarter, the Irish have their 5th touchdown of the game.
Tony Simeone, Notre Dame Network. This is a blowout from the beginning. Notre Dame, in my opinion, makes a huge statement. 77 over Syracuse.
The Burger King of college football, because they're having it their way. They're playing when they want, who they want. Well, I think everybody knows what that means. However, Jeremiah Love made have a crown. Yeah, they're having it their way. Yeah, and how about Jeremiah Love probably should be in New York for the Heisman?
No doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, 8 carries, 171 yards in that game, 3 TDs, along with 68. They ran for 329 yards. They only had to throw the ball end up 15 times. A backup, Minchie threw for 6, but they're just doing it in a dominant fashion, running the football, good old-fashioned football, and getting it done. And special teams, right? Everything, all phases, defense, everything is stepping up and making plays. And kind of joked about this earlier. They're missing Kyle McCord over there in Syracuse.
They got a bunch of injuries, too.
Yeah.
Paul alluded to this earlier, but conferences are really just kind of scratching their heads trying to make, as far as what's going to happen as far as these conference title games moving forward. We'll begin with the ACC. Still plenty to figure out there. Things became a little bit more muddy on Saturday as number 16 Georgia Tech hosted Pittsburgh.
5 on the huddle clock. Gets the snap, hands it off to Boosie. Boosie's on his way! 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. He's gone! Going is Boosie Turner. Wow!
Bill Hillgrove, Pitt Network, Panthers big over Georgia Tech, 42-28.
Pittsburgh always seems to find a way to mess in somebody's Wheaties during the course of a season. And here they sit with just one conference loss, and Georgia Tech, a team that a lot of people still think could be one that could make some noise if they're able to get into the playoffs. And is it 2 straight weeks now? Georgia Tech's been tripped up.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And Georgia Tech, could have lost another one in there. They went down to the wire, but give credit to Pitt. They lost to Notre Dame and that didn't look good, but they come back the next week and sitting there 8-3, 6-1 in the ACC right now. It was an impressive victory.
Questions in the ACC to the Big 12, where questions are still being answered there. Number 11 BYU was at Cincinnati.
Hand off Martin. Get 2 hands on it. Or take it into the end zone! LJ with the TD! Okay. All right. Do it that way.
Greg Wrubel, BYU Network, LJ Martin, a huge night. LJ, by the way, stands for Little John. He's nothing little about him. He's as a junior, but still, BYU wins at UC 26-14.
And here's what's impressive about BYU. They suffered that embarrassing loss to Texas Tech, but then bounced back and really got after things. And, I've said this a number of times, but it wasn't too long ago people were talking about Kalani Sitake should probably no longer be the head coach out there. Look at what they're doing now.
Unbelievable. The Cougars are really rolling right now. Obviously that running game is working for them. Didn't have to throw the ball too much with their freshman quarterback, Bachmeier, but they found a way to get the victory over the Bearcats.
Staying in the Big 12, another Cougar. Houston was trying to stay in it as they hosted TCU.
Hoover, 4 of 4 to throw the football. Out of the gun this time. Deep ball first time. Shot in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown McAllister. Hit the horn here in H-Town. 33-yard strike from Josh Hoover to Eric McAllister.
Brian Estridge on Learfield. TCU knocks out number 23 Houston 17-14.
It's a good thing Hoover passed for almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns because he threw 3 interceptions. So he was able to smooth things out. And, again, TCU doing their part to muddy up the Big 12.
Yeah, exactly right. That was a surprising victory, but, just a low-scoring game, and TCU had just a little bit more there at the end of that game to take care of Houston.
To the Americans, still plenty to be sorted out there. Number 24 Tulane was at Temple.
Fake the pitch. Retzlaff rolling right. Take it yourself, Jake, to the far pylon. Touchdown for touchdown number 12. For number 12.
Corey Glore on Learfield. Tulane still in the mix. They beat Temple 37-13.
And remember, Retzlaff is the young man that had to leave BYU under less than ideal circumstances. He gets to Tulane late, starts up practicing with the team, and fits in well and has them in a good spot.
No, he's playing good right now, and they're all-purpose team. They can run the football, they can pass the football, and they're finding ways to get victories. Surprisingly, I mean, when was the last time we talked about Tulane in Week 12? But they're getting it done.
When you look at these, CFP rankings that come out, it's important to really look at the top 10. Because
11 and 12 are yes,
ACC and Power 5, so it's right there. So BYU, as mentioned, they were number 11. So if it was now, they'd be out.
Last time Tulane was relevant, Rich Rodriguez was their head coach.
To the SEC, they're still a mess as well, trying to figure things out. 8th-ranked Oklahoma hosted number 22 Missouri.
Missouri brings 4. Mateer to throw, does across the middle, got Satania on the run. There he goes, picking him up, putting him down. Isaiah Satania, he's at the 10, he's at the 5. Painter, touchdown, 87 yards, and the Sooners lead it. Bam!
Toby Rowland on Learfield. Sooners get the win over Mizzou 17-6.
But Skip, what's really gotten Oklahoma some traction is their defense. Brent Venables, known as a defensive coach, seemingly has got that defense. When you think about what they did at Alabama, now they're playing, that defense is at a high level.
Yeah, and they shut down Missouri's rushing attack and kind of made them one-dimensional there. But nice having a healthy Mateer too. He's doing some good jobs. Quarterback kind of guiding this team.
To Nashville, Vanderbilt still trying to stay in the mix as much as they can as they hosted Kentucky.
Fourth to left, the drop back for Poppy on first down. He steps up. He'll throw this one deep, looking for Richardson. He's got it at the 5. It's a touchdown. Vanderbilt's 56 yards.
Andrew Allegretta on Learfield. Vandy big over UK 45-17.
Pavia continues to try and pave his way to a Heisman ceremony. But this is, Skip, you were talking about, this is one of those schools that possibly because of the group of 5 in Notre Dame could find themselves aced out of a playoff spot.
Over 500 yards of total offense for Pavia. 484 passing. He's their leading rusher at 48 yards. He's doing a little bit of everything, and hats off to him. I mean, he's a guy that probably is going to get invited. He's got a good shot at least to New York.
Final stop, Austin, where Texas hosted Arkansas.
Weisner in the backfield, Manning to take the snap from under center. On 2nd and goal, Arch with the snap, turns, hands it. It's a flip back, and look out here, Livingston to Manning. Caught, touchdown Texas. Yes, Arch Manning can catch touchdown passes as well as throw them. Parker Livingston throws the first touchdown pass of his collegiate career, and the Longhorns have had 2 possessions and 2 touchdowns.
Craig Way on Learfield. Longhorns beat Arkansas 52-37.
And Manning is starting to play it the way everybody thought he would at the beginning of the year. But is it a little late for them to find their group? Because they, much like Vanderbilt, could be one of those with a group of 5 and an ACC, maybe get nosed out.
I know.
Yeah, Arch scored all 3 ways. They get a rushing TD, a receiving TD, and some passing TDs. So Texas is playing some good football. They seem like they got it figured out a little bit here at the end of the year, and Arch Manning obviously playing a lot better.
Those rivalry games in the SEC this week will see. I mean, it's going to just mean so much. It always does, but as far as who makes it to the SEC championship game, A&M and Texas, obviously the Egg Bowl, Iron Bowl, always important. All 3 of those games can have an impact.
It certainly could, and you'd have somebody like, say, in Alabama who doesn't get to the SEC championship game, and are they having nervous moments like they did last year?
Yeah, you got to think old Commissioner Sankey might, start raising some cane a little bit.
And what's going to happen at Ole Miss after the Egg Bowl's done Friday night?
Oh, it's crazy.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think he's leaving.
What do you think, Paul? I mean, I'm serious.
I don't. You know,
I got a side wager with some. I'm saying he's staying.
Trying to look into.
You think he's staying?
I'm just a little.
That's like looking into a bucket of worms and trying to figure out which way they're going to wiggle.
I don't know.
I have no idea, Skip. It just feels dirty, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, why do we have to have these coaches things, these searches going on during the season, contacting coaches that are already coaching? And I understand there's no rules right now in college football, and somehow they got to clean it up. It's just not fair to the Ole Miss
And now
players.
here's another thing.
Yeah.
Let's say Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss. What does the playoff committee look at them at?
I don't know. That's all. That's why I asked what you thought was going to happen.
With an injured player, like the old Kenyon Martin thing.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, it's not a good look.
All I can think is not a good look is that worm as it starts to ooze that stuff out of the inside with everything. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Will you put this on my hook?
Look at this for me, Jim. You eat this sort of stuff. It's all good. All right, up next, speaking of eating things, we will hit the sidelines with our Dom Taberi.
Where are the snacks?
Where are the snacks? That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
New creamy parm pizzas are now at Donato's. A decadent new sauce on 2 delicious new pizzas. Try the crave-worthy chicken veggie parm with roasted chicken, fresh veggies, and that rich creamy parm base. Or the savory bacon spinach parm, where smoky bacon meets fresh spinach for parm pizza perfection. Craving something different? Create your own creamy parm pizza today. Donato's. Gotta love more.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
This is the home of the Buckeyes, the Fan Tune. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. The 2026 Buckeye Cruise for Cancer set sails on the Silver Sea Silver Ray. It's an intimate ship with an even better experience, all inclusive of beverages, shore excursions, taxes, and gratuities. Sailing from Fort Lauderdale to bucket list ports like Grand Turk, St. Martin and St. Thomas with many former Buckeye greats. Call 614-792-6204 to book today.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Let's keep it simple, Jim. Biggest question looming is what will that two deep look like specifically at the wide receiver position on Saturday?
And I think everybody thought with Jeremiah and Smith and Carnell Tate out of that ball game that we'd see, a lot more Mylan Graham and Bryson Rogers, and then we found out that Quincy Porter's out too because he's a guy that's played a little bit in the past. So that wasn't the case, though. Only 4 catches to the 2 receivers. Ennis had 2, and David Adolph had 2 catches. But we saw, a lot of tight ends, get opportunities in that game. Bennett Christian, Jelani Thurman, Nate Roberts, Will Kazmarek, Max Clare, multiple, 2 tight end formations. Leaned on the running backs a little bit more, and, that paid off. They rushed for 254 yards. So, they got another week underneath their belts, a little bit more practice, but we'll see what happens.
Elk and Elk, again, this report brought to you by Elk and Elk, injury lawyers dedicated to every client every day. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
Buckeye defense played lights out Saturday. Huge game from Kaden Curry. 6 tackles, 2 TFLs, a couple of sacks. After the game, Curry with our Dom Taberi.
Kaden Curry, obviously 42-9 final game of the regular season in the shoe. Just the feeling as the seniors walk off, and obviously there's a big one now looming.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just our last game in the shoe as seniors. Definitely was great to kind of send us off with a great win and kind of just push us forward and to keep playing our best football right now.
You had a huge play. You were all over, but that strip sack and the fumble. Talk about that play.
I mean, I kind of got a pass run tell. I knew it was pass, so I got off quick. Just made the play when my number was called, and tried to get in that end zone.
How much fun are you having? I mean, we're watching you kind of blow up right now. You're getting big.
Definitely. I mean, just playing for Coach Patricia's defense right here, it's definitely really opened up my game a little bit, and it's just been the best fit for me. And I feel like just having him be able to let me play kind of more free has definitely been the best for me, and I've kind of just played with the mindset of just go get the ball.
What is the feeling of this defense right now? I know you guys are stingy. You hate to see any points given up, but what do you think you're doing best right now?
We're playing as one. We're 11 as one out there, and we're just playing like the brotherhood that we know we have, and we're just getting stronger and stronger each week, and we're fighting to be the best versions of ourselves.
What's the feeling now, the big one next week up in Ann Arbor?
I mean, we just got to treat it like, it's another game, and we just got to go up there and play our hearts out and just keep fighting to be the best versions of ourselves.
How pumped are you guys for this opportunity? As Coach said, hardware's on the line.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's always a good time to play for hardware, and we're definitely going to go up there with the mindset of we got nothing to really lose. I mean, we're kind of got to just fight to be the best versions of ourselves, like I said.
And again, as Dom mentioned, the big one this week, Ohio State and Michigan, 12 noon kickoff from Ann Arbor. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 10:30 a.m. Up next, our Insiders Access. Longtime Ohio State reporter Bill Rabinowitz will join us as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Whatever happens today, plan to conquer it with a fresh cup of True Brew coffee. True North Convenience Store's True Brew coffee is a hot, flavorful gourmet blend created from coffee beans from around the world. Our brew is truly perfect for any time of the day. During October and November, enter for a chance to win free coffee for a year. Check the True Rewards app for details or find the mobile app in your favorite app store. Offer valid October 7th through December 1st. True North Convenience Stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Toyota-thon is on, and there's no better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through December 1st, you can get 4.75 APR financing on any remaining new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander, including hybrid models, with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get Toyota Care 2 years, no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Columbus is home of the Jim Rome Show. The Fan Team. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State Athletics and Andrew have joined forces to recognize November as Military Appreciation Month. Join Buckeye fans across the state in thanking all former and current military members for their service. Saturday, Ohio State limited to Rutgers to 1-of-1 scoring on trips inside the 20. This defensive summary is brought to you by Anduril, whose mission is to transform U.S. military capabilities through advanced technology. Anduril, an official sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Ohio State, Michigan, Saturday, 12 noon up in Ann Arbor. Joined for a few minutes by longtime Ohio State reporter Bill Rabinowitz, now on Substack. And Bill, new book out, Buckeye Brotherhood. One of the more riveting chapters in that book was the aftermath of last year's Michigan game. I guess let's start there and let folks know what you learned while writing that book following Michigan's big upset here in Columbus 12 months ago.
Yeah, I would say it was a shocking loss. Ohio State did not expect it at all. And afterward, they were a devastated team. They were confused. They were angry. And so the leadership committee on the team met with Ryan Day on the Monday after the game, and they all decided it would be best if the whole team met with Ryan the next day. So they did that. And it was this meeting that Jack Sawyer started by basically saying, everybody get anything you want off your chest. Let's deal with whatever issues we have. Let's confront them. Let's deal with them, and let's leave a united team. And that's really what happened. Mitchell Melton, who was a backup defensive end who'd lost 2 seasons to a knee injury, was really the first one to speak, and he challenged Ryan Day. And there was a lot of emphasis in the week before the Michigan game about winning the running battle. And Mitchell Melton essentially said, we got stubborn, and we shouldn't have gotten stubborn in running the ball against Michigan. And Ryan Day basically agreed and also challenged the players. It was a very healthy exchange. It was not personal, but it was very intense. Everyone that I talked to, and I pieced this together over months of interviews, everyone told me that they'd never been a part of anything like that kind of soul-bearing, heart-wrenching kind of conversation. But they all told me that they left the room a different team than the one that entered it, that they were united, they were excited, they'd gotten everything, they aired their grievances, and they went on that run. And I think they can all point to that meeting as the turning point.
Still on that run, 15 wins.
Haven't lost since. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible the way that this team has kind of responded. Do you think that they should maybe have one of those player powwows before this game, instead of after? To kind
I think they hope it's not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of get the views of everybody and make sure everybody's on the same page going up there. But, you've been covering the Buckeyes for a long time, and what to you, besides last year, was one of those games or a few of those games that stick out in your mind since you've been covering Ohio State?
You're talking about last year's team? I think the one that was really striking was the Tennessee game, because there was so much uncertainty about which Ohio State team would show up. Would it be the team that laid an egg against Michigan and would maybe mail it in the playoff, or a team that was reinvigorated? And it was the latter. I remember watching the first quarter of that game thinking, where's this team been all year?
Right.
You knew they were capable of it, but you hadn't consistently seen it. And that performance against Tennessee, they carried over to Oregon, even more impressive in the Rose Bowl. And then, obviously, they won the national championship. So the playoff run certainly stands out. The other games last year, you saw glimpses of greatness, but you didn't see it consistently.
Bill, are you among the camp, and there are a lot of people that feel that had it not been for that loss to Michigan, that this Ohio State team maybe doesn't go on that run and win a national championship? How do you feel about that thought?
Yeah, and I asked people about that. I asked Ryan Day, I asked players, and there's no, concrete answer because the other didn't happen. We don't know what happened. But they all did say that they hated to even use the expression blessing in disguise, because you don't want to ever view the loss to Michigan as being positive in any way. But it was a different team after that. And whether they could have played the same way if they'd beaten Michigan is one of those questions you really don't know. But I think they would all say now that as painful as that loss was, and it still remains painful because those guys didn't beat Michigan in their careers, the fact they won the national championship made it worth it.
The defense that Ohio State has this year, I got to think it's, even though we lost, 8 guys to the NFL draft, it's playing better and puts us in a better position going into this game because of the way they played all year long. This year, the 2025 version of the team. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to think you could lose the talent that they lost on the defensive side of the ball and be better. And you have to credit Matt Patricia for a lot of that. The players certainly do. Ryan Day does. But also, look, even the guys that didn't start last year played a lot. Kaden Curry, you saw glimpses of what he could do. He just was stuck behind Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. And so it wasn't a shock that Kaden Curry turned out to be a really good player. We could see that. They just had to wait their turn. And to their credit, they did. Kaden Curry could have left earlier in his career and played somewhere else. But these guys all stuck around. They paid their dues, and now they're taking advantage of it.
Bill, does it say something about the special part of this rivalry that even with all of the other changes in college football and that the game doesn't determine a Big Ten champion? Well, no, I shouldn't say it that way. That it doesn't determine where you're going with your postseason, but it still seems to hold a special place as far as the rivalry goes?
Yeah, it's, obviously Ohio State's going to be in the playoff no matter what happens on Saturday. But they want this one desperately. They really do. You can sense it. Even before I had my question to Ryan Day in the post-game press conference after Rutgers was, when did you start thinking about the Michigan game? And he said, when the game was in hand in the fourth quarter, you couldn't help but start thinking about it. And so obviously Michigan's won the last 4. Ohio State's really hungry to win. It's the game. I mean, there's no other game in sports that's like it. It's the last game of the year against 2 great, traditional powers who respect each other for the most part, but certainly hate each other. And so it's, and what happened at the end of the game last year probably has a role. I mean, Ohio State players remember Michigan, planting the flag on their field. And I mean, if Ohio State wins, I'm pretty sure Ohio State's not going to do that. I think they've been told, don't even think about it. Not that I think they would anyway. I just don't think that's the way they would respond. But I think that added a different element to it. I'm sure that the team will address that. Remember how we felt when they did that? It's bad enough to lose the game and to have that happen. So it's going to be a very fired up Ohio State team.
Yeah, that planting the flag, that was an ugly scene there at the end of that ball game. Going back to Will Howard had a great year last year, fabulous year, and he was a great leader. But what Julian Sain has been able to do this year has been awful impressive too. It's hard to compare, but, are we in a better position at quarterback now than we were maybe last year?
Well, they're very different quarterbacks. Julian is saying when he's on, and he's been on almost the whole season, it's like a video game. I mean, he's so incredibly accurate. Even when he's rolling out, it's just a gift that he has. Obviously, a lot of work went into that. He's not as big a guy as Will Howard. He's not the running threat, although he can run. Will Howard was, I think, more of a leader kind of in terms of he was a fifth-year guy. He had seen everything. He'd gone through the ups and downs at Kansas State. He has a naturally charismatic personality. Julian Sain's a quieter guy. Nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got their own personality. So it's just hard to compare them. But, if you want a passer, Julian Sain's your guy. But he doesn't have the years of experience that Will Howard had and isn't obviously as big as Will Howard. And on 4th and 1, Will Howard could just plow somebody. Julian Sain's not quite like that. But look, Julian Sain's completing 80% of his passes. That's on pace to be an NCAA record.
Holiday shopping season is upon us, Bill. Buckeye Brotherhood makes a great holiday gift for the Buckeye fan. In anybody's wish list, where can they pick up a copy from you? Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's sold so well that we're out of them in a lot of places. They are coming out with a paperback version. I just got my first shipment of them. There are still local stores that have them. Barnes & Noble, I know, has them locally. The Book Loft, Gramercy Books. A few others. I'm going to do a signing next week at at the Campus Barnes & Noble. I think they probably have them. Please be patient if you want them. If people want to email me at BillRSubstack at gmail.com, I can get them a copy if they want to buy it directly from me. I've some left. I want people to read it because I think people understand the how and the why of what happened last year. I'm proud of the book. I'm really gratified by the reception it's gotten so far. And also love it if people would, pay to subscribe to my Substack too. Bill Rabinowitz, we always appreciate your time and happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you up there on Saturday, okay? Sounds great. Thanks. Yep. Thanks, Ohio State, Michigan, Saturday at noon. Our final segment coming up. We'll break down Saturday's matchup with some chalk talk as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Calling all tailgaters. Learn more about the heart and soul of Ohio State with Game Day Taste and Traditions, presented by the Ohio Beef Council and Weber Grills. Dive into the rich history, iconic beef recipes perfect for your tailgate at home or outside of the shoe, and cherished customs that make our Buckeye community unique. Get yours now and celebrate Game Day with the spirit of Ohio State athletics. Find your Game Day Taste and Traditions guide at Buckeye Game Day Fan Fest and participating retailers.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com.
a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. At AEP, we're proud to support our communities, powering progress and creating opportunities every day. Our partnership with Buckeyes Care reflects a shared commitment to uplifting Central Ohio through service, connection, and care. Together, we are building a brighter future for everyone we serve.
The home of the Bob and Tom Show, The Fan Tube. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everyone, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $10 O-Fry O-Bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown. All for just $10 at your local Burger King.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
Evening season's just flown by. Evening has really flown by with Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. I'm Skip Mossick. Delivery of the game. Who needs to deliver, fellas, for Ohio State to get the W?
How about not a who, but a what? Composure. As we heard Bill Rabinowitz talk, because of last year's game, there's going to be a lot of angst, a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings that date back to last year. Certainly intensity is going to be a big part of Ohio State going out there to try and play the way they're going to have to play. But if they can keep their emotion in check to avoid unnecessary penalties, avoid things that will get the game out of whack.
I think it's the offensive line. They got to step up. You know, last year they didn't have their best outing in that ball game. And of course, Michigan was stacked on that defensive front. But you know, looking at this year's version, Barham, number one, great football player. Derek Moore, 9.5 sacks, another outside linebacker there in the edge. Jimmy Rolder inside, with Ernest Hausman being a little bit nicked up. They've had Cole Sullivan, play a lot, and he's done some good things. So they got a group of linebackers that are awful effective. Jair Hill, number 20, is probably their best cornerback, so he's going to be following whatever receivers that we have out there around to try to make plays. But I think our offensive lines has to do a good job pass blocking and run blocking to give Julian Sain enough time to hit his open receivers.
We almost always see a new wrinkle from one or both teams in this game. What might Michigan have up their sleeve that maybe they haven't shown yet? If you had to guess, for example, I talked to Coach Cooper this morning. He said, don't be surprised to see the option or at least more quarterback runs than what we've seen so far from Bryce Underwood.
Option would be a good guess. And I think from Ohio State side, we saw that throwback on the return the other day. I tend to think that the gadgetry might be packed up.
Yeah, I think that they throw that stuff out there to get stuff on film, so you got to work on it. But that's a good call there, throwing some option at Ohio State. But, again, I think Matt Patricia and that defense, they're so veteran up front, and especially our two linebackers, Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. Those guys got to play great.
Or a Keenholz package.
We all know the history, fellas. I mean, heck, as recent as last year, the best team does not always win this football game. The Buckeyes are favored again on Saturday. Biggest key, I guess, to eliminate some of the noise and focusing on what's at hand.
Well, and it seems as though what's going on over at the Woody Hayes complex this week is keeping things as routine as they are now. Given the fact that you've got a holiday on Thursday, there's going to be a little bit of adjustment there, but keeping things as routine as they are and being as businesslike as they've been all year.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you got to, look at this as, just another opponent and in preparation, but knowing, you're playing for, as Coach said, these are the trophy games, pair of gold pants. If you take care of business against Michigan, then you get an opportunity to play for a Big Ten championship. And then, obviously those bowl trophies. We saw Cardell Jones lift a few of those after the 2014 run. I'm sure this team would like to do the same thing.
We've asked Jim a bunch as far as a former player what makes this rivalry so special. Paul, for you as a broadcaster, I mean, one of a few that have called for both teams in this long history of this great game. What makes this game so special from your perspective?
You know, and this is age, but you still think of the 10-year war. You think of Bo Schembechler. You think of Woody Hayes. You think of players like Jim who were recruited by both schools. You think about guys that went from the state of Ohio to play in Michigan, and they'll talk about like guys like the late Rob Lytle. Some of Michigan's best players were guys that came from Ohio.
I remember
exactly
the 10-year, what began the 10-year war, the 69 game is what really opened my eyes as far as a young kid is what makes this game so special. It's like, how did that happen? The reaction was incredible.
Why didn't you go for 2? Because I couldn't go for 3.
Jim, Buckeyes in the NFL to take us home.
Well, I'm going to stick with a little bit of defense or start off. Chase Young, 4 tackles and a sack yesterday for New Orleans. He's got 4 sacks in the year. He's still making plays. Denzel Burke has been a really good addition to the Arizona Cardinals. He had 6 tackles yesterday. Jack Sawyer, 3 tackles for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He continues to get playing time. I think they're kind of molding him as the next T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt, obviously, he went 1 more sack than his older brother, J.J. That was good to see. Tommy Togiai played lights out last Thursday, 5 tackles. And I mentioned Tommy because he invited Luke over for Thanksgiving, so that was awful nice of Tommy to do that. Travion Henderson, we saw a little bit of that yesterday with the Bengals, 18 attempts for 66 yards. Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? Every week, 8 receptions, 167 yards, 2 TDs. He's now got 80 receptions and 1,300 yards, first in the NFL.
Real quick, it was 1970. They wouldn't let me go for 3. 69 was the upset up in Ann Arbor. So I just want to make sure. It's like, what are you guys talking about? There you go. Great job. Great job, guys. Have a great week, okay? Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer, Jacob Reimer, and for Jim Lachey and Paul Keels, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thanks for listening from Learfield. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.